Okay. Normally I don't get into news. Hold on. Yeah, normally I don't get into news. I normally will never get into news. But my mom texts me. Like, son, check the news. Something weird's going on. So I pop on the news. A weather balloon with a very noticeable hanging chunk of metal, very noticeable hanging chunk of metal, was floating over South Carolina. Now, mind you, the news is saying it was a Chinese weather balloon. Now, I wouldn't put it past China or somebody else to put a weather balloon over our skies and be like, oh, we're just gonna spy for you guys, see what they're doing, or something. But I imagine there's something better than that. So I don't know, this could just be a publicity stunt. But the fact that you clearly see a plane come in, you see the plane's streaks, and the balloon blow up. So they definitely wasted money on a missile or something to blow this balloon up. So that leads me to believe that this is not publicity, for one. For two, if it's true that the audio is true, there was a guy that asked Biden what's he gonna do about the balloon. He's like, we're gonna fix that, we're gonna get that fixed. And literally after that whole little meet and greet with Biden, they got a plane shoot the balloon down. And now we're hearing there's a second one found somewhere in Latin America. Another weather balloon with a supposed electronic device found, because we don't have video footage of the one in Latin America. We only have the video footage of the one that we found in South Carolina, which is now shut down. It's in the Pacific Ocean. Anyway, it's in there. They're gonna be trying to find it. Trying to find the electrical components and whatnot. Hopefully it's not too bad. More likely, if China is smart, they would have fried the system, made the system or destructive, like basic, not solar destructive, what's the word, like really, solar would have screwed it up. Hold on, I'm getting another text from my mother. Yes, I know, also they went over bases of ours with our 400 ICPMS. Oh, yeah, China be spying. Yeah, I may be drinking, but you don't have to be drunk to understand what she just texted me. So to put it bluntly, weather balloons can have a certain type of camera on them. And a certain grade of camera is what she described. And it did go over some military bases, because in South Carolina, there is a couple bases around that general vicinity. One of which I've been to. Very nice base. Not really, in my opinion, that much to really get on camera. But there's other bases near it that, from what I've heard, yes, you don't want to get in trouble even if you have your phone camera out. So yeah, definitely bad. Hopefully China didn't receive the video footage. If there is any video footage on the weather balloons, you can clearly see a metallic object on the weather balloons. I'm going by what I saw in the video, not what the news said, because some news do lie. Not saying all of them, but most of them did say it was a Chinese weather balloon. They said it was a spy balloon. Now, I'm supposed to believe that off the top of my head. I mean, yes and no. There was a very metallic object at the bottom of this balloon. It could have been a camera. Makes sense. But also could have been a counterweight measure, maybe. Hear me out. this is supposed to be a Chinese weather balloon. That means that this balloon had to have flown from China all the way to South Carolina. That means it went all the way through the U.S. That or some Chinese person here or somebody who works for the Chinese government just flew the balloon up. I don't know. What the hell is she saying? Collecting intel. She's getting more intel on the subject. Okay. Mom is getting more intel on the subject. Cool. So, according to this, okay, so please watch CNN 30 minutes and another news non-democratic and formulate your own opinion. Thank you, Mom, I did do that. So yeah, my opinion is there's no way in hell a weather balloon, well at least I would hope no way in hell, a weather balloon that was popped up in Japan or China flew across to South Carolina. So which means somebody in the US may, just hear me out, China confirmed it was their weather balloon. So for that thing to fly from China, and yes I said it, to the US would take a great deal of time. And yet no one, except for people in North Carolina, saw this weather balloon. I'm sorry, that raises a couple eyebrows. Like, are you telling me this thing went literally US from China through Japan, coast to coast US damn near, and didn't no one see it till South Carolina? I'm calling bullshit. I'm calling absolute bullshit on that. I'm sorry, I'm calling bullshit. But yet China is saying it's their weather, which means somebody in the US working with China released the weather balloon. Because the fact that a balloon not only flew almost damn near coast to coast of the United States, but flew over Japan, one of the one places where air traffic is probably the highest, because everyone wants to go to Japan, or South Cal, or Cal. Both those, wow. How the hell did that balloon not get destroyed? If that thing came from China, I'm impressed with the fact that it's not destroyed. By the time I got to South Carolina. Unless I went the other way around. Which wouldn't make sense, because... No, that wouldn't make no sense, because then it would have to go to England. And England people, they look up the sky and see a UFO. Okay, they lose freaking minds. At least I would hope they would. So how in blue blazes did a freaking weather balloon get to the US? Oh, what's this? Dad will send you the name of a good news to watch daily. I'll kill you. Yeah, Mom. Mom wants me to stay but how this stuff makes no sense. Okay. Hear me out, chat. This is our weather balloon. And let's say this little plastic bead is the little electronic device that I saw on the weather balloon. They shoot the weather balloon, falls down, and it looks like the plastic, or in this case the metallic piece, broke off. The one thing I'm curious about, they're saying this is from China, and China confirms it's their weather balloon. How does a Chinese weather balloon, if it's launched in China, where they launched this balloon, if it was launched in China, that thing got some distance. Like, Jesus, you launched a weather balloon in China, and it got to South Carolina, and didn't get noticed until South Carolina. What the hell? Was everybody having their face buried in their phones, not looking up like, oh, there's a weather balloon? Took literally till somebody said, at an airport, oh yeah, they're stopping our planes because there's a freaking weird thing in this. What the hell? What the hell? I am sorry, but this makes no sense. The fact that China is saying it's their weather balloon is even more creepy. Because they're saying it's not our surveillance weather balloon. They're saying it's a rogue weather balloon that got blown from rough winds. Last I checked, China's pretty far away from the US. Ain't no rough winds without somebody saying a weather balloon. Not to mention the fact that it literally halted over South Carolina. Which, mind you, I've been to South Carolina. That is not the windless city. That is a windy city. They have ocean fronts. They have ocean winds. And that thing supposedly stopped, according to the newsfeed, stopped over an airport. What the absolute what? It makes no sense. Why would a balloon stop over a South Carolina airport? Unless, my military people, we know why. Near the South Carolina airport is a military facility. Yes. It's actually one I went to. And I joined the military. It was a recruitment station. Now, mind you, I don't know what else is there, because I wasn't there long ago. I imagine there's some things that the U.S. doesn't want their enemies to see. That's just my opinion. I haven't been there. It's probably just some campus thing, like, you know, just people playing football. Probably like a high school. I don't know. Most of the places I've been to are rooms that I don't know if that was important stuff. To me, honest to God, what I don't see as important could might as well be important for terrorists. I don't know. Heck, freaking this is important to me because it keeps me awake. But to them, it's just gonna this is useless. We can't use this. See, the way I see stuff and the way they see stuff differently. I digress. Things happen. Balloon shut down. We're probably gonna get news sooner or later if it has surveillance tech on it. Whether or not if this surveillance tech is worth it. Simply put, we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna figure out if this stuff came with a camera or something that could actually spy, hack, check everything that's in our general vicinity. Find it out. But still doesn't get rid of the fact that there was a confirmed by China, one of their air balloons was over a military base state. Not just saying, that's like all the militaries. That's like where there's a recruitment center, so you know you're gonna see all the military there. So that's some. I'm literally drinking because of this balloon, because it's making me think, and it's in order to stay normal and not have a headache, I gotta be a little bit. I don't know how to describe it. It sounds stupid. In short, I'm overthinking, and when I overthink, I tend to get headaches and my face gets red. So I'm drinking this to alleviate the headaches, and hopefully, I've yet to figure it out, alleviate the red skin issue of overthinking that I tend to do when stuff like this happens. Because literally, video footage of Biden saying they'll take care of it. Balloon blowing up from an F or a friggin' jet missile, or either one of the guns on the jets, which I have seen. Those guns are awesome. I've actually had a modified version of that gun for ship-based operations, and it is awesome. Pain in the butt to clean up. Anyway. So in short, they got the balloon down. They're gonna get the metallic stuff. Verify if it's a spy balloon or what China said. It's a freaking weather balloon that somehow got yeeted over to South Carolina. Probably the good thing, if it's a good thing, is that it's just gonna be a weather balloon that somehow got ballooned into South Carolina that China was using. And now, mind you, we do use, some people still use weather balloons to track weather anomalies, so it would make sense if it was China's weather balloon to attract weather phenomena in the atmosphere. So, yeah, it kind of makes sense. But it could also make sense out of the spy balloon. So it's about 50-50. I'm hoping it's just the weather balloon. Because if it's a spy balloon, China, I'm sorry, but you're gonna get a lot of mean looks at from people. Like, I'm sorry. I like your culture. I love your architecture. Your architecture is beautiful. But the fact, it's like getting your hand caught in a cookie jar if you actually freaking did the spy balloon thing. Oh God, you just got helped. Cookie jar. You freaking actually thought the U.S., the one that literally uses more social media than anybody probably around the world, wouldn't monopolize seeing a stray air balloon that is canceling flights in South Carolina. Like, I'm sorry, that is literally caught with your hand. Jesus. Hold on. Mom's sending me another thing. Watch Shredder. What the heck is OAN? Live stream. Okay, hold on. There is an OAN. Hold on. Hold on. I am not paying for this. I am going to the YouTube page.
You to OAN Live.
Their last upload was 3 months ago.
Called fact checks that President Trump would be, quote,
The last thing was 2 years ago. Mom, you sent me a website that's literally got no freaking footage and you gotta pay a subscription. I'm not paying a subscription to freaking a news outlet. That is dumb. I swear, Mom, Jesus. Let's see if I can actually look it up without having to pay a subscription. Hold on. Okay, I'm looking this up. Security. Integrity is not demand? What the f does that mean? Yeah, no, I'm not signing up for shit. Fuck that. Parents are having me sign a subscription to some news thing. I'm actually kind of worried about that. What the hell? Kind of creepy. Anyway, I'm gonna relax. Is that still live? Are they still doing the news? Okay. Yeah. Fox News is still got live. Hold on. Should think anything news.
In that 13 nautical mile territorial waters where you saw them shoot it down, that if we bring it down there, can we do so? And then it got into the weaponry decision, which was looking at the past when they tried to shoot down balloons. In many cases, they've used guns to try and take it out, and all it's done is it perforates the balloon, and then it becomes a slow leaking, slow falling balloon that continues to drift and drift. In this case, they used a weapon system, probably a proximity explosion of a warhead that literally shredded the balloon instantly, bring it directly down, which minimizes the chance of it accidentally hitting something where it can cause harm or damage.
Let's see if
but
I can
also bring it down a
click
right
link.
path where we could put our recovery assets, reposition them in such a way that we can get whatever it is out of there more quickly and efficiently.
Okay. Hal, this was a long statement by Secretary of Defense Austin. I thought I read it all, but it went on to say, I just want to read this part of it because this is interesting. It says this action was taken in coordination and with the full support of the Canadian government, and we thank Canada for its contribution to tracking and analysis of the balloon through NORAD as it transited North America. So our Canadian allies coming in handy there.
Our Canadian allies work side by side with us at NORAD and U.S. Northern Command, and I've been on Cheyenne Mountain. I've worked in those spaces. I have sat there in those spaces where we have U.S. and Canadian officers working side by side, and it's a very, it always has been. It's a very joint coalition, collaborative environment where we deal with this. And going back to the earliest days of the Cold War, we were looking at strategic bombers from Russia, possibly coming over the Arctic and hitting the United States. We have always looked at North America and North American airspace in terms of an air defense, in terms of strategic air defense, as a collective activity. And we've had all sorts of stuff working with Canada, sensor systems, response systems, whatever you want to call it, to deal with this collective threat. So when it's being tracked across Alaska, you can bet the Canadians knew full well everything going on, and when it crossed into Canadian airspace, they knew full well. And because it is somewhat maneuverable, the balloon was, I was kind of wondering, and I wasn't quite sure because, well, frankly, the wind direction at 60,000 feet hadn't been something I was looking at that closely. And then again, it's a balloon, so it can go up or down a little bit. And that's one of the ways that you can actually steer a balloon is by doing things like that. I wasn't sure which way it would go when it was over Montana, whether it might shift back up a little bit, go up to back into Canadian airspace, or whether it might stay on that trajectory going east, or whether it might shift down a little bit, which is what it did. And they decided, and obviously the Chinese made a decision they were going to do this arc where they collected on all these Air Force bases across the middle of the country to try and get as much information as possible. So that was obviously their decision with why they put it on the track that did. But that's still stuff that's done it's within U.S. Northern Command. And again, it's a joint coalition environment where we work side by side with Canadians. And I'm really glad to hear that specifically mentioned, because I don't think people understand exactly how we do that sometimes. They think, oh, it's just the U.S., we're unilateral, we do everything. We work with coalitions all over the world, and this is one that's unusual. In the defense of the United States, we work very closely with the Canadians, looking at that entire region.
Okay. Hal, so I have a couple questions about what happens now in the future. Because we got confirmation, I was surprised. The Pentagon did confirm yesterday the existence of a second spy balloon somewhat transiting around Latin America. I know that's a very vague, broad geographic range there, but they confirmed it nonetheless, which raises questions to me about the likelihood that China uses these yet again in the future. I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, we can't be that naive to think that more spy balloons aren't going to go up in the future. Maybe this won't become a, nationwide phenomenon of a story, but they're still going to keep doing this, right? And there are parameters in place for intelligence gathering capabilities, aren't there?
There are. What I will say is it hasn't got for those who look at this area, it's gotten a lot of attention because, well, that's those who look at this area.
Yeah.
But using balloons, dirigibles, blimps as persistent long-term surveillance devices, and certainly there's a lot of discussion about the tethered blimps that we've used, these aerostats.
Okay,
Used
here we
them
go.
on the border.
You can see it,
to look
see
across
it
the border
right
to
there,
collect
the very bottom, a
intelligence
little
of
black
potential
object.
Smuggling, whether it's human trafficking or drugs or whatever. Looking at those, that's obviously got a lot of attention. But using these things to collect intelligence, particularly in the maritime domain, where you can launch this and it can stay up there for a very long time, steer itself to some degree, and then maintain a persistent collection effort. For things that may not seem that exciting, we're looking at ICB. They're collecting on ICBMs and strategic bomber bases. One of the things these are used for example, can be collecting on illegal fishing fleets, which actually that's something that China specializes in as well. They go out and they will literally wipe out entire fisheries with these massive fleets. That's something that this sort of persistent intelligence collection platform is very good at providing a
Sorry. China is using weather balloons to identify illegal fishing groups to annihilate them?
maritime domain awareness picture that can then be used
That's something I
directly focus our operational efforts to interdict those things. And when I say I should say coalition, multiple countries working together to try and deal with that type of threat. So these have a very big use in the future for this type of purpose. It also allows you to put something very high in the sky in a more exigent situation. Sometimes
I'm gonna keep watching this, but yeah, you guys know what it is. Stuff's going on. Watch the news. Watch the news.
Balloon offers capabilities that other